pink if black is the moon, black is the melanin in my skin. I'm still healing from wounds, so Lord forgive me if I sin. I can't help but choose violence on the daily. I'm him, I refuse to lose, so don't make me repeat it again. When I reunite the culture, the vultures are not impressed. Dropping bombs on them like I'm obsessed. Kill them off with no emotion, like I got a hole in my chest. I'm the king and I'm taking the crown back to the west.
Come again, you the king? You need to turn your sound down. Putting rap on your back. You just snatching crowns now. You know my big bro cold could've beat your ass around town. But I'm the wolf at the door, so you dealing with me now. I done came back around, cause this boy got a loud mouth. He got the bag now, but that's nothing to brag about. Sound blast in the background, in the cut like I cut pounds. You in uptown, I'm from down south. I smell fear like a bloodhound. Why the hell your drawers looking so brown? Put that crown down, I'm liable to crash out. If they don't give me mine, hit you with my streamline. Send my 50 times. The crown ain't yours, but yo, I can't blame you for trying. Big bro showed us the way, and now I'm making sure I'm next in line. Y'all think you're deep, I need the crown like I need to breathe. I need respect, I got people to feed. I get that W by any means. Of course, a king, I do not disagree, but understand I'm out of your league. Enough is enough, you think you up next. Please, I roll you up like I'm smoking some trees. Make me too mad and I'm making you bleed. If they try running, I'm breaking their knees. I made them fall like some autumn leaves. I'm not the king yet, but I'm planting the seeds. I mean what I say and I say what I mean. I do not stutter, there's no in between. If I enter the ring, then I'm making a scene. Then I'm making them scream.
If y'all got a few problems, I feel bad for your son. I got 99 problems, but being a bitch ain't one. Rock Nation Empire, blueprint in the vault. Every brick I flip turn to gold, that's all I know.
Whoever putting money on my head, they surviving. You ain't getting rich off me, but homie, you could die trying. I'm the undefeated king of queens, getting straight doves. My bulletproof vest about to be covered in your blood. If you talk smack, get clapped, diced up and slaughtered. Y'all, you looking kinda pale, need some vitamin water, dog. He the prophecy, you don't know what's on the line. Ignoring signs, you summon the destruction of space and time.
Give a damn about your prophecy, you ain't seen what I saw. The illmatic oracle, been him since 94. Most critically acclaimed, my style second to none. You talk about kings in the presence of God's son. I hear you prophesize, but do you see the big picture? I pen scrolls and shadows where the street lights flicker. Flow like hieroglyphic scripture, make the weak hearts quiver. Now flow so cold it'll make Lucifer shiver.
Here we go, shaking stadiums, the shady spit this flow. Do they know? If you piss me off, I'll go ballistic, bro. These kings looking like bozos. I'm wondering if I should snatch that gold. Hell no, that's just a joke. What's a king to a rap guy, yo? Shady to see to the 8 miles in my jutsu ain't no need for combs. Get so close, I lose my shit and carve my name onto your bones. Leo's my comatose, believe I'm not here to save souls. I'm going in until I know the prophecy wanna fall as foretold.
I rip the steel barrel, kissing your dome piece. Down in the pipe, like a heavyweight, I'm obese, cause I eat beats. My temper's hard to manage. I'm a Brooklyn savage, leaving all your bones damaged. Ass stage killer, brick flipper, the Ciroc sipper. Your ass techniques, sounding like my butt cheeks. I got bars so beef, send you back to your roots. Stash the weak MC's boots and leave his drawers with streaks.
It's not the way the dragon flow. Big boss, so call my ace.
Hello.
Real big
Hi, how you doing? Hello. Excuse me, let me clear my throat for a minute. Hello, how's everyone doing? It is Sunday. You know what that means. Welcome, one and all, to another edition of the Space Sheriff Gav-sudan, the show where we watch Space Sheriff Gav Infinity and, take a look, see what we feel. What's our opinion after at the end of the day? Have a nice little discussion afterward. It's the show where you watch and then you talk. Hi, my name is Carl Hitchin, your host with the most, the mercenary with the kicks, coming to you from 2286. I hope everyone is having a lovely Sunday today. Nice outside, looking at 70 degrees. Very, very nice. Very nice. Some good temperature. Yet you're here inside because you're here to watch Gavan. You're here to watch a space sheriff do his thing. You're here to see what's going down in the multiverse. We about to see some good shit. So far, the show has not disappointed. Like, again, I say this every week, but it's unfair to compare it to a Zets that's doing, like, some really deep storytelling. We love Toku in this house. Yes, we do. We absolutely do. But it's unfair to compare it to a Zets that's doing a deep storytelling when what it's really doing with Gavan is it's getting us ready for what's to come. It's getting us ready for what we can expect, right? Because by the looks of it, I haven't seen the preview for it yet, but I did see what next week's episode is going to be called, and it's like, okay, 6 episodes, we haven't really done anything. Episode 7 might be where we start getting in, but I haven't seen the preview yet, so no spoilerinos, please. But, excuse me, but it is about time that we, start to feel for it. Gavan Infinity is a primer, and you can see future seasons go hard. Here's the thing. I feel like we might be going hard very soon. Because, again, I feel like the first few episodes was just them playing it safe, as I mentioned before. It feels like it's going to be like... How do I put this? It feels like we may be on the verge of lore. Right? Like, it feels like we're on the verge of some very good storytelling coming. Not Zets level storytelling, but I feel like we're finally going to have a semblance of a story very soon. Right? The first few episodes were to lean the people in. Now we're about to, like, we may be on the verge of getting some narrative. So there is a definite vibe in regards to what's about to happen, about what's going on with the story. Something's about to go down. In regards to, like I say, the story. Like, we're about to learn some things. Like, here's the thing. Zets has been pure storytelling throughout. Gavan, again, played it safe to start. To not, alienate people. Like, he wanted to make sure that there were eyes on the stuff. They didn't want to alienate the old fans, but they also wanted to cater to the newer fans. But I feel like now that they're in there, some things are about to happen. I get that feeling that things are about to happen. Like, I get that feeling. Excuse me. Sorry, Sorry, my throat be doing shit. Anyway, I get that feeling that we're about to start something. Just looking at the title of the next episode alone, that tells me we're about something, because remember what they did a couple episodes back. They teased Death Gavan, or they teased him, right? I think it was literally episode 3? I think it was literally episode 3. 2 or 3, it was one of the two. No, it was 3 because, it was 3. So an episode... No, was it? Hold on. We're on episode 6. Where did it happen? Episode 2. It was episode 2. That's where they teased him. That's where they teased Death Gavan, or Gavan Death. But, they didn't do much with that because they wanted to at least give us the impression, hey, there is something happening here. Because you look at a Gavan that literally stands for anything but justice, and you're going to go, yo, what the fuck? And then you start questioning shit. But they didn't allude to him again because it wasn't needed. We're still establishing what the whole deal with Gavan is. And not to mention, like, so we're playing it safe, Monster of the Week, but there's a bigger story to be told. And I think just because of the next episode, I'll have to look at the preview, but I'm fairly confident if you're already calling out Death Gavan, oh, we're about to hit some lore, I think. I think we are on the verge of some lore. But I think we won't find out until we properly get in to today's episode. So join me, if you will, in the Henshin Barrack Cinemas, for it is time for us to see what is up with our boy. Some of the Gavan Infinity toys are sold out in Japan already. I can see it. I can see it. All right, let's hop over to the cinema, shall we? All right, here in our trippy cinema room. Love it in here. Love it. That is on the wrong screen. What the fuck? Thank God I saw that. Well, let me fix that. I'm going to fix it. It's showing OBS. It's looping. Ah! There we go. That's better. All right. So, right now, this may be the last of the Monster of the Week. Well, no, I'm not going to say the last of the Monster of the Week, but we're going to say it's the last one where, okay, we're stopping playing it safe, and then next week we're going to start telling a story. Now, I don't know if that's truly going to be the case, but I'm fairly confident in my assumption. But tonight, or today, we have a Phantom Thief to deal with. And my God, y'all know when they bring in the Kaitos into any Tokusatsu series, you know it's going to be good. Even if it's just for an episode, you know it's going to be peak, son. You know it's going to be peak. So, let us put our hands together, rub them together like this. And then let us sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity Episode 6. Here we go.
いなくなった奥さんと娘さんを探してほしいと。
Missing wife and daughter, huh?
今にも胸が張り裂けそうだ。
人探しは僕の分野じゃないんですが。
それに恥ずかしながら私の財産も持ち出されてしまったようで。
Wait, what?
何としても連れ戻していただきたい。
わかりました。あなたのお宝、この怪盗フェードが取り戻してみせましょう。
I feel like I've seen this guy before.
ここは多元地球伊予田合人丸9銀河連邦警察鑑識課コンビが徹夜明けボロボロの胃に物を入れるため地球に買い出し中だ。
Okay, that's an interesting play-in.
たまには外出ないと。
You gotta touch grass every once in a while. Timing.
言わんこっちゃない。ごめんなさい。お怪我はありませんか？大丈夫大丈夫。言っても大げさですいません。行くよ。食べる。
Wait.
いい食べっぷりですね。M ちゃん、飲み物もどうぞ。
So you just ran away? Y'all just ran away from the dude?
ごち そうさま。福岡さん。もう行くの？今日中に惑星パピウスの領事館に行きたくて。
惑星パピウスの領事館。
私の母星にちょっと里帰りを。本当にありがとうございました。
待って、私たち送るよ。
こと待ってよ。
Gavan Infinity. So, the plot deepens because this guy we see at the start, like he's missing his wife and daughter, but then like immediately drops the act like all my shit was stolen. So these two robbed from him. That's what I feel like.
お母さんの母星に帰るなら宇宙ステーションに行けばいいでしょ。わざわざ領事館に行くなんて何か事情があるとしか思えない。
なるほど。納得ですこと。ハンキーもあの子が気になるみたいですし。
やっと見つけた。お迎えに上がりましたよ、お姫様方。やれやれ、おてんばなターゲット。
That target's a tomboy.
誰？今話題の怪盗フェイドさんです。
怪盗？なんでそんなやつがあの二人追ってんの？
You dumb bitch.
そこの怪盗！止まれ！意外とやるじゃん。
だろ？俺のこと好きになった？
Oh, what?
あの人山でギア持ってます。
Wait, what?
きっといいね。
Huh?
ちょっと何なのこれ。どうやって降りればいいの？
一方
Meanwhile.
イプシロン2 7 0 9への次元出張を終えた霊児たちは多元地球イオタ5比とマル9でのエモルギーポジティブ波動を感知していた。
Epsilon? Are we gonna see that at some point?
前にあった2人がいるね。ほら、鑑識課の。
いつでも行けます。
お、行ってみるか。うん。よし、D ジャンプ。
そこまでです、怪盗さん。
お姉さん、警察の人？
なぜあの親子を狙ってるんです？金銭価値のあるものしか狙わないって話は嘘。あなたがエモルギーを使えるのはどうして？
話通じないタイプだ。
Whoa!
なるほど。触れたものを伸ばす能力ですか。
エモルギア怪盗機。
Interesting. My man can stretch.
ちなみに彼女たちを狙ってるのはそれが依頼だから。夜逃げした母親と娘、それから盗まれた財産、その宝物を取り戻してほしいってね。
絶対に嫌。
Wait, what?
お母さんを傷つけるあの人のところになんか絶対戻らない。やっと逃げてきたのに邪魔しないで。
Wait, what?
これ以上近づいちゃダメです。キキ、どうなってんの？
Wait, when'd you get down?
エモルギア？あの子の持ってたエモルギアが暴走したみたいですね。道理でカンキーがそわそわしてたわけです。
Where's our boy? Shoteku. Love it.
宇宙刑事ギャバン・ルミナス
Why am I only noticing now that that she has a charm on that gun?
乗着それはギャバン
Why am I only noticing that now?
では乗着プロセスをもう一度見てみよう乗着コマンドを受けて臨界点を超えたエモルギーが
I love that. I love this scene. I love these scenes.
乗着わずか1ミリ秒でコンバットスーツへと投射成形され乗着を完了するのだ
I love the explanation of the electroplane. I love that shit. I don't know why. I loved it when I saw the reboot of Gavan, and then when I went back to watch OG Gavan, I loved that shit. Like, there's just something about it.
宇宙刑事ギャバン
I love it. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Whoa. That was a mistake.
宇宙刑事ギャバンインフィニティ次元を超えて出張中だ
There's our boy.
状況は
街をさまよっていた親子を保護し領事館を送る途中二人を狙う怪盗フェイドなるエモルギア使いと交戦娘の持っていたエモルギアが暴走混乱を極めていたところであります
Okay.
その娘であるわどこにいるんだ
Pull it up.
さすがにあれは引き上げられないな
Dane, how you
く
doing?
ださいすぐ助けますからバカ一人で行ってどうにかできるわけないじゃんでもことあの子を助けたいんですよね笑顔になってほしいんですよね
笑顔
Holy wait. How did he? So I want an explanation of how the extractor.
谷に落ちた宇宙バスを引き上げられる切り札がアギ
Incoming.
近くにあったクレーン車に合体変形機構をつけちゃいました
アギちゃん仕事が早い
そういう風に課長が作ったんです
I love how Agi-chan is like just a perfect plot device as to how things just work best. I love that. Because at least it's like, okay, the AI is just super smart.
マジこんなことできんのクレーンユニット想像以上すぎます
お前たちに託せエモンズは俺が引き受けた最高議長多元地球イオタ5人09にてエモルギアの暴走を確認強襲フォームによる市民の救出を認可願います認可する仰せのままに
Approved, baby! Also, I find it, like, there's just, like, this interesting feeling about, like this interesting little story wrinkle about how you need to get council approval. Like, you need to get, like, commander approval for that.
操縦システムは同じなんですねよいしょちょっと貸してわかりました一緒に頑張りましょう
So, like, to me, it's like, I love that there's an explanation for it. Because if you look at Super Sentai, like, that never was a thing. They could just use them. Especially when they had organizations like Deca Ranger. Like, they didn't have to do that. So I like the extra wrinkle that, like, in Space Sheriff Goblin, they need authorization to do that shit. Granted, they get it every time, but there always does that feeling that, like, at some point, there may not be approval for whatever reason.
今助けますからね。警察のお姉さん、そのままでいてください。もう少しの辛抱ですよ。
So I do like that there's, like, meaning to each part of the story, you know what I mean? Even little wrinkles that you don't think won't matter, they're still, like, it's real nice.
ごめん、これ以上は。
もう一回だ。
ですがまたロボが降りたら崖が崩れちゃうかもしれません。そうだ、降りていけないなら釣り上げればいい。やりますよ、こと。久々のあれだね、キキ。クレーンユニット装着。
Wait, you've never... You don't have a... I have questions. Like, I'm trying to, like... You know what's... My big thing, though, is, like... The names of the mech are kind of hard to remember. That's my only thing. Because, like, each form has, like, a different name, and I can't... Like, I can remember Deja Govan right now, but I will freaking forget later. I hope that he refines that technology even more. Yep, he's gonna have to. Wait, since when do you have a drill? What the fuck? That's badass, I swear to God. That is badass. Okay, do you really need to make the noise? Got a Marlin! Did you really need to make the noise? And I love that like this one, there was no criminal, it was just a child in peril. Like an evil Emergear doesn't need to be used by a villain. Sometimes it's just circumstantial, and I like that.
もろいな。また修理しないと。
ちょっと話聞きたいんで、ご同行願います。
二人からは手を引きなさい。あなたの依頼人とやらがどれだけ偉いかは知りませんけど、これ以上は銀河連邦警察が黙ってませんよ。
お姫様方のことは諦めるよ。俺の本命はこっちだし。い
つの間に？
これをあげるよ。
Damn. Okay. Fade has to become a Gavan at some point.
またお目にかかれる日を楽しみにしています。
Kiki's all about having fun and smile, so it kind of yeah, it does, but sometimes you don't have to go that hard, you know.
ごめん、宝箱取られちゃった。大事なものだったよね。
いい。もともとお父さんの金庫から持ってきたやつだったし。領事館で保護してもらってから中身をお金に変えて逃げようってこの子が。でもあんなものよりエムが無事で。
I'm realizing now that's a bruise. What? I thought that was like part of the eye. Like that was no. That's where she. That's okay.
引き取りが終わったらちゃんと領事館に送り届けるから。
私お母さん以外に味方になってくれる人いないと思ってた。ありがとう。ドキさんでしたよね。助けてくださりありがとうございました。
ドキ。
日本人の連携は見事だった。お天道様に恥じない腕前だな。
ハイスクールの時、琴とクレーンゲームで鍛え上げたんです。お手の物ですよ。
いつか俺にも教えてくれよな。
はい。これからもエモルゲを愛する者同士よろしくお願いしますね。
ああ。
キキ、帰るよ。エモルゲの解析に怪盗フェードの調査、やることいっぱいある。
The fuck was that?
言っとくけど、キキの相棒は私だから。勘違いしないでよね。行くよ。なんでそんな怒ってるの？
The jealousy is real.
これ？ね、これ何なの？ねえ。
Yeah, leave him in the dark.
私は妻と娘を連れ戻してほしいと頼んだはずですが。
いや、申し訳ない。明日にでも連れ戻しに行きましょう。何せあなたの最も大切なものを取り返すので精一杯でして。
いや、もう結構。また何かあればお願いするから。おかえり。なんだかいつもより輝きが少ないような。
今日の天気は曇り。月明かり。
No, his name is Doki Reiji. He's taking your treasure, baby!
ごめんね、しばらく拘束しちゃって。
お待たせしました。
I mean, he had to take some form of payment.
あちらに。
Wait, what?
匿名の方からの贈り物だそうです。
匿名ですか。
なんで？てか、誰か。は？店員さん？どこ行った？
結果オーライじゃないですか。
Who?
まあ、そっか。
ありがとう。
Who?
そうだよね。
Questions! Question! You can't just trust that! Oh.
世界一のお宝。
Oh, never mind. Never mind. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Don't trust that. Oh. So this is kind of like, dude, I just find it weird that like we're only getting an outro song and not an intro. Am I the only one that like finds that odd? Am I the only one? Like, I feel like that's odd that we don't get an intro song, just an outro. Then again, wait, was Gavan like that? I think the OG Gavan was like that. But normally instead of a dance number, it was literally just them doing the outro with the narrator in the OG Gavan. So honestly, I'm amazed that like instead of doing that, they're doing a dance number. That's what I find a little odd about it. The shop owners on Lupin Ranger. I mean, here's the thing: Phantom Thief is not just a Sentai thing. That Phantom Thieves have been around since time immemorial. Uh-oh. Psychopath. Psychopath. Wait, why? There's our guy.
この者には荷が重かったな。
Oh my, he's a cyborg, isn't he?
通り魔事件を追うレイジと大輔、立ちはだかる漆黒の影、二人に迫る危機、闇の使者との対決に赤き怒りがたぎる。次回超宇宙刑事ギャバンインフィニティ、黒いギャバン。俺はずっと
Black Gavan. Our guy is here. Death Gavan is here. That laser eye makes me feel like he's a robot. That's what I feel like it is. I don't know why. I just get this weird feeling it's a cyborg of some sort. Though for what reason, I don't know. And OBS did its stupid shit again. Not OBS. Freaking this pipeline shit never works. Swear to God. Why you know where every time I'm doing this shit, all of a sudden it just decides fuck you. Why? Why is it like this? Why is it like this? God damn it. There's got to be a better way to get OBS on the feed. There's got to be a better way. I mean, not OBS. There's got to be a better way to get VTube Studio on the feed because it just, what the program I'm using for some reason just drops the feed. And I do not know why. Hold up. I don't know why it does this. Reopen that. Take a swig of this. So, while we're waiting for that to boot back up, let's just say that, like, this feels like a definitive end, I want to say. Because here's the thing. I feel like 6 episodes to try to establish, like, what's Gavan's whole deal and the whole point with the other dimension Gavans. I feel like that's a sweet spot, right? I feel like you can't really... I feel like if you drag that out any longer, at some point you're going to lose people, right? I feel that like if you drag that out longer than it needs to, you're going to lose people. So I feel like right there was a perfect time. Like right there was the best possible time to kind of like ease off the gas, right? Or actually, no, in this case, because now we're going into storytelling, put your foot on the gas, like floor it. You know what I mean? Because at this point, like, okay, 6 episodes where, okay, it's just establishing what the whole Gavandelio is, right? Like, it was there to tell us, okay, here's Gavan, here's the other Gavans, just to, like, prove the multiverse theory to us, right? Just, like, the whole thing of the whole multiverse shtick, it was there to, like, just let us know that that's what's going on, right? It was there to tell us, hey, this is how things work in this universe. And I feel like 6 episodes was perfect amount of time to do that. You teased Black Gavan in episode 2 because you wanted to let people know there was something that there will be something there. we're 6 episodes in. Black Gavan feels like steaks, right? Death Gavan, Black Gavan, whatever you want to call him, Dark Gavan has stakes. Because now there is a being that is going to attack people that Doki cares about. Right? That they're going to attack people that Reiji-san cares about. Because that, you saw in the preview, that's the chief that was freaking laid out. And this looks like this isn't going to happen on another planet. This looks like this is happening on his planet. In his dimension, in Reiji's dimension. We're going back to homeworld for this. So that means this is bigger stakes now because it's not a dimensional threat now. The threat has come home. The threat has come home. What are the chances on an on-screen death? Not likely, but I think there will be just enough injury so that we learn a little bit more about Doki's backstory. Because we did get also flashes of that. Remember? Literally maybe first or second episode, we had flashes of like what Reiji's thing is, what Doki Reiji's thing is. His whole thing is that he's driven by rage. And from what we know from the lore aspects that we got, clearly his master or his sensei died. Clearly. And whatever killed him brought forth that rage. Now, I don't know if Black Gavan is the one who did it, but he will definitely trigger a memory. He will definitely trigger something that had laid dormant. Or not dormant, but like had never had to come to the forefront. Right? Like, that was never, like, it never needed to come to the forefront because Reiji's doing a job. Right? He's doing his job. He's being Gavan, he's doing stuff. But right now, I feel like in the preview, in the next episode, that attack on the chief is going to set him off. We're actually going to see what happens when Gavan locks the fuck in. Like, granted, he's done a good job so far, but right now it's like, we're going to see him lose some shit. Because they also showed that his armor is going to be fucked up. They're going to show that. But the whole dealio right now is, what's Black Gavan's deal? Like, what's his shit? Right? Because the way it looks right now is that, from what we know, dude's a cyborg. That's at least what we think we know. Because he's got the cyborg eye, and you look at the eye, like, that is foreboding. Like, if that wasn't like a T600 setup or whatever it was, I don't remember what Arnold Schwarzenegger's model was. I forget. I remember the T1000, but I don't remember what. No, I think it was a T600. I think. But like you zoom in on that laser eye, like that feels. No, that's the chief, the AGI's creator, Aggie's creator. Like they don't say his name; they just call him the chief. They say Kaicho, but they never say his name. I think they the T800. Thank you. It was the 800. But like. Because I think they mentioned his name in the graphic in the first episode, but they don't outright call him his name. They call him the chief. That's why I call him the chief, because I don't remember the guy's name. So I call him the chief. But, like, yeah, he's going to be, like, super injured, and, like, that's going to set him up. But what we saw with how they presented Black Gavan here at the end, that laser eye, that ain't a human thing. Unless, of course, this is a guy who had part of his head ripped off and he had it replaced with a laser. With a cyborg eye. But other than that, this guy, if that doesn't scream that this guy is a robot or in some way, shape, or form, whether it be an android, a cyborg, or whatever it is, like this guy, I'm going to outright say this, I don't think, I mean, obviously we know that he's not the big bad. He's not our BBEG, because we know, looking at the very first episode at the start, there is a bigger menace out there. The question is though, where does Black Gavan reside in the hierarchy? Clearly he's not the big bad. And if he's taking the Gavan name, that tells me that either he's disgraced or he's just stole the tech, right? Do I think that means Black Gavan will become good? I don't know. He doesn't give off. We haven't seen him enough to be able to say he gives off anti-hero energy. But there's something about him that, like, just from what the little that we've seen, is that he's clearly manipulating something. He's clearly manipulating things behind the scenes. He's the one who's spreading these Emor gears to different dimensions. So the question is, what's his end game? What's got him doing this? Like, what's the end goal here? That's something we don't know. All we know is that there's an illicit illegal Emor gear trade going on, and he's the supplier. But to what end? Right? To what end? What are the ends to the means here? Because, like, I can tell you, in past Space Sheriffs, like from the OG, from the Metal Heroes era, it was all about Makyu because there was a mafia. Makyu space is not like a funny term. It was called that because the first villains in Gavan was a space mafia called the Makyu. And so they created that space, Makyu space. So ultimately, that was the deal. But right now, there is no, like, group that's running shit behind the scenes. This is, so far we know, it's one guy distributing these to other people, to shit people, and, like, they're using these gears. They're using these Emor gears, to benefit themselves, right? There is no, as far as we know, there is no big organization behind it. As far as we know, Death Gavan is the end point. Black Gavan is the end point. That's, like, not a lot for us to go off of, but clearly this guy was either a former space sheriff or somehow hijacked the tech. But either way, this guy is operating. But obviously he's not operating by himself, right? He's not operating, like, because it's a feeling that he's not the end all, right? I mean, like I said, there was teased in the first episode that there's a bigger threat out there, but him personally, he doesn't feel like the end all. Like, he's giving off general energy, you know? Like, like in big, like, enemy and, like, villain groups, especially back in the Super Sentai days, it was always, I mean, before Gozuger, because what the fuck was any of that? That made no sense. Because there was a hierarchy, right? You had the generals who would do the grunt work. Or no, they have the generals. Then you'd have, like, the regular monsters. You have the grunts, as in the big mobs that you fight. And then above them is their leader. Right? So Death Gavan is giving off general energy. Like, he is part of, like, there's someone above him, right? Who it is, I don't know. Obviously, there's been no inklings of that. I'm just going off of vibes here. He gives off general energy, right? Just because of the way he talks and everything, he very much gives off a vibe that, like, he's working for someone. Again, who that is, we don't know, but it definitely feels like he's working for someone. He's doing someone's dirty work, but who it is, again, no idea. None whatsoever freaking ever. But we don't have to wait too long to find out. Just got to wait another week. So hopefully This coming week, we will find out. This upcoming weekend, we will find out what Death Gavan's thing is. Hopefully it's not a one episoder because I feel like you gotta do at least a 2 episode with this guy. Like I feel like you can't just one and done this. Like this guy has been, for what we know, has been supplying these illicit Emor gears. Like you can't do a one-parter with him. This got to be a 2-parter. 3 max. But you got to do minimum 2. Because we need to know more about him. What's his stick? What's his dealio? What's his gimmick? What's his point? What's his end game? What is it? We want to know. We got to know. Because at the end of the day, man, like if we don't have a time to dissect this guy's motivations, at that point, you're wasting our time. You're wasting everybody else's time. And that ain't good for anyone. Nope. No one whatso friggin' ever. Right? And don't get me wrong, I am enjoying this, and I feel like a little bit of my anger towards Gozuger crept in there for a minute, but that was because I remembered when they like drug us around. I know for a fact that Gavan will do good by us, or at least that's what I want to believe. But for all intents and purposes, like if we don't get like motivations to Gavan, I'm gonna be like, oh no, you know. Like again, I trust these guys. These guys did. I trust the writers. They did King Oger and Boom Boomger. I trust these guys to do good by us. But you know that. But Gozuger left such a bad taste in my mouth that I'm worried. That I get worried sometimes. I get super concerned, and it's not. It's not a great feeling. I'll tell you that much for free. That shit is oof. Yikes. Like it still sits there and like, oh, I know it's there. I know it's there. But God, I know they're not gonna do it, but god damn, I'm still a little paranoid. Like I get that feeling in my chest like, no. No. Oh man. Oh, this giving me a little bit of heartburn. Holy shit. God damn. But again, these guys did one of the best series, one of the best Super Sentais in all of fucking space and time. And then they did the follow-up, which wasn't as good, but it was still good, right? So they did King Oger and Boom Boomger. Those were 2 pretty damn good seasons. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I expect, like, they're not gonna jerk us around like the Gozuger writers did, but man, I can't shake that feeling. I can't shake it. It's just like, Argh! It's like, But I digress. So on that note, I think it's proper time for us to just go ahead and call it. Let's call it, because at the end of the day, like next week is when we're gonna start getting into some hard lore shit, man. Like we're going in. Like Death Gavan's the start. Like I genuinely believe that. Just mute that real quick. I genuinely believe that. We are going in for some hard times, daddy, hard times. The American dream, that's the world, daddy. We're going in for some hard times, because I used to dine with kings and queens, but I'd only eat steak and fava beans. The American, I'm the American dream, daddy. The son of a plumber. Sorry, I'm goofing. But yeah, that's what we're going to call it, guys. Thank y'all so much for coming out for the space share of Gav-sudan. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to do the show. And I know it doesn't do as well as the Zets Sudan, but man, you just got to love Toku. It's like all Toku, for the most part, is good. So y'all just got to sit back and enjoy it and just, you got to love it, you know? Got to love it. Gots to love it. All right. Let's go ahead on Twitch. I'm going to send you over to my boy Javi, who's doing some miniature shit. So go ahead and say hi to the boy in the cool Henshin Core way that you do. On YouTube, don't worry about it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. On both ends, though. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I love doing this show. We'll be back next Saturday for Arma Shenanigans in the morning and the Common Rider Zetsudan at night. Until then, guys, I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. I love y'all. Take it easy. It's your boy, Call Sign Henshin, your host with the most, your mercenary with the kicks, coming to you live from 2286, reminding you that the future is yours and yours alone to conquer. Conquer it by any means necessary. I love y'all. Take it easy. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I will see y'all next weekend. Peace out.